that's the role, I think, a good transition into the role of the Chief Data Officer role and where that is in the business. Like I said a moment ago, like you are a C-suite executive with a very strong knowledge on technology, data science, and like you say, like this blueprint of how these should be implemented and built within a business.
Yep.
Like, how are the struggles there then? Because you say like the science and the when you invalidate an outcome is a failure, but it's not really, right?
No,
it pushes you down a path where you then become
you learn something.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't tell you how much I learned about building lyrics for a song this weekend with my 5-year-old using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And it was a song about bathroom humor, because that's the only thing that 5-year-olds get.
Nice.
But I learned a lot of things technically about doing
Sung it for us today.
Yeah, right. I know, Lynn.
But like, so with this word failure around these science experiments, how do you convince the CEO, CIO, CTO, whoever it is that the Chief Data Officer reports into? Obviously that changes from company to company.
Sure.
How do you convince those C-level executives, I need X amount of dollars, X amount of time on something that's probably going to be failure, success? And you can't tie a bottom number to that on the revenue sheet, right?
Right.
And I think that's one of the things I hear from engaging with people like yourself.
Actually, I'll challenge that statement in a moment.
Yeah, and go on and answer. Yeah, because I guess that's the question. Is like, how do you interact with them, or if there is a way to tie that to the revenue sheet, like how do you go about that?
So that's the secret. Is you need to find your fastest path to revenue that you can.
Yep.
And I would say revenue first. Cost savings is a big part of opportunity as well. But I think it's more critical to align yourself with the revenue lines in your balance sheet than anything else, because data science can drive revenue.
Yeah.
And it does so through optimization. It does so through algorithms. You need to test and learn your way to them. However, you can't optimize unless you can forecast first.
Yeah.
Forecasting is just another word for predictive analytics, which has traditionally, over the decades been the realm of finance in Excel spreadsheets, right?
Yeah.
And building these complicated models in spreadsheets. And there's very sophisticated models that are out there that you can do, but not to the degree that you can with the magic of data science. And so my advice to people in terms of proving your immediate value is focus on demonstrating that you can accurately, within a plus or minus failure rate. I typically say, plus or minus 5 to 10% accuracy on, revenue forecasting. Get your models into that range first, because from there you can start to offer scenario planning. And I've seen this exact pattern work in multiple companies, where it starts with being able to first demonstrate that you have credibility of forecasting. And now, since you can forecast, you can start to give them scenario planning. Scenario planning will yield the highest net result of revenue, which may be different than what they would otherwise have done not having this information.
Interesting.
So baseline yourself against what they would have otherwise done without this insight. Give them the scenarios, help guide them towards those revenue maximizing scenarios, and then demonstrate the value that data science has brought to the table, which is just the delta between those two things.
And to be able to do that, it transcends just being a strong data science and a strong sort of leader within the data science space, right? You need to be able to talk in business sense to them.
Storytelling. I mean, it's you need to, and this gets to where does the CDO report? And I've personally reported into like nearly every area of the company in roles similar to this. But I think that it optimally reports into either a COO or a CFO, if not the CEO directly. I think that those are the two most logical places in a company for a chief data officer to report. And again, because what you want to do is, as quickly as possible, peg yourself to driving revenue. That is not in an IT department traditionally. That is not in a CTO's department traditionally. They have revenue and cost management responsibilities for sure. But what I advocate for is from a data science perspective, which is the end of the supply chain that we're trying to build that supply chain towards, because that's where you generate revenue. Get it as close to those that are crunching those numbers as you can.
And that's obviously what they want to hear.
Sure.
But that must be exciting as well in your role to like pitch that to those leaders, get the buy-in from them,
Mm-hmm.
and then watch that unfold with the sort of strategy and the plan that you've put in place.
Oh yeah, and once you start to get into pricing optimization, that gets real. See, this is where I get to really start nerding out. Like when you start saying, what is the optimized price for a promotion for a particular product, for instance, and now you layer in all of these scenario planning, and then you start to bring in machine learning, artificial intelligence. I mean, we were building neural networks to do promo pricing optimization.
Wow.
That was some fun stuff. Now, it took us a year and a half to get there at a private company, less time at another company. But once you get through that initial credibility, establishing that you can forecast and give them just the basics of scenario planning, that's your low-hanging fruit as a data science organization.
Yeah.
And everything, when you start this journey, should be about servicing that to start with, because from there, you get the buy-in that you need from the C-suite.
Yeah, perfect.